We need to talk about one player, a player that has created the most big chances in the championship so far, doing it for a team that didn't win in their opening 9 games. It pains me to say it, but it's Josh Murphy. This is a player that oppositions simply cannot handle right now. He's got the directness and crossing ability of a traditional old-school winger mixed with a dynamic output of an attacking midfielder. Now, before we look at a few devastating examples of 2 aspects of his game, I need to share some of the stats with you because, quite frankly, they're an absolute joke and paint a perfect picture as to just how good Josh Murphy is at this moment in time. So far this season, Murphy has racked up 15 goal involvements with 6 goals and 9 assists and sits in the top 1% for crosses into the penalty area with 1.13 per 90. Those numbers don't just show us how electric he is on the ball, but also how he just makes things happen for Portsmouth all of the time. I come back to the point I made earlier. The most impressive part of Murphy's impact is that he's doing it for a side that have spent all of the season, pretty much, in the bottom half, playing some of their best football in quite bitty moments, really. Pompey aren't a team that have dominated large periods of games with endless amounts of the ball. In fact, Pompey sit 23rd for average possession. To still be able to put up those kind of offensive numbers is genuinely priceless. This is Josh Murphy's season heat map so far, and it's a perfect visual representation of just how dominant he is down that left channel, and also how effective he is at carrying the ball frequently too. We'll be diving into some real game scenarios that highlight the directness of his game very shortly, but once again, the numbers do a brilliant job of setting the scene. So far this season, he ranks in the top 8% for successful dribbles compared to all other championship attacking midfielders and wingers. As well as that, Murphy has completed 219 progressive carries, with 31 leading to a shot and 22 leading to a goal. Murphy's ability to cross a ball this season has been like no other. In a footballing era now where so many so-called wingers are just wide attacking midfielders, it's been so refreshing to see the fruitful attributes of an old school winger. Compared to every wide player competing outside of Europe's top 6 leagues, Murphy sits in the top 1% for crosses into the penalty area. And now it's time to show you exactly what that looks like. This is from their win over QPR on Saturday. And before we talk about the brilliance of Murphy's cross into the box that leads to the goal, we need to talk about how the move started. Steve Cook is looking to play the ball out to right back Jimmy Dunn, but within a split second, Murphy, as you can see here, is pouncing, looking to win the ball in a dangerous area and start an attack. In fact, probably this is the best time to tell you, Josh Murphy has won possession in the final third 26 times this season. That sees him rank in the top 3% for championship midfielders and wingers. The aggressive press, or pounce, as I've now nicknamed it, is just his game. It's what he's all about. He's now won the ball, driven into the space, and entered one of his favourite positions on the football pitch. He knows exactly what he wants his cross to look like and where he wants the ball to travel. He fired the ball in with the perfect pace and positioning just in between the back line and the QPR goalkeeper, so that all Matt Ritchie has to do is tap it in. And you can see with the screenshot here, it's fallen to Matt Ritchie, who has an open net to convert in. Suddenly, Pompey, within 5 seconds from that opening screenshot that I showed you, they're in a position where it's harder to score than miss. How many times have we seen a winger get hold of the ball in a dangerous position, lack the almost uncoachable composure, and fire an aimless ball into the area? That happens time and time again. This isn't a game of chance. This is a game of utter skill. I come back to that point I made earlier about possession being won in the final third. The bloke doesn't give defenders a day off at all. He identifies the pressing trigger, doesn't hesitate, and goes. He's won 124 duels this season. That sees him sit in the top 10% compared to other wide players and midfielders. Keep him quiet for 90% of the game. That's fine, but if you switch off for just seconds, he'll punish you. And this is another perfect example I'm about to show you now. This is in the 80th minute of the game against Swansea, when Pompey are already 3-0 up. And the reason I emphasise that point is because this is about his work rate. No matter the game state, he is going to work his socks off, and that must be credited too. We're going to speak in this video, as we have done, about the incredible technical ability, but he's a hard worker too, and this shows us exactly that. You can see Swansea defender on the ball now, is about to pass back to his goalkeeper, and Pompey once again looking to win the ball high up the pitch. That's not just a Josh Murphy thing as well. This is a team thing. They want to win the ball high up the pitch, as early as possible. Matt Grimes was always a target for Swansea in build-up before he left for Coventry City. And before he's even received the ball, you can see Murphy, he is on his bike. That is the body language of a player that is ready to dart. And he's ready to dart out to this left-hand side, to the left centre-back. He knows exactly where Grimes wants to play the ball and has already started darting to apply pressure. Again, I stress, this isn't the opening 15 minutes. The scoreline isn't close. This is just priceless work rate. Murphy is rewarded for his work, as you can see in this next screenshot here. He's dispossessed. The Swansea player aggressively but fairly looks up and sees Bishop all alone in the box. He doesn't panic either or feel a wave of almost greediness, if you like, and plays a simple ball over to Bishop, who converts comfortably. That's the fourth goal, and that's 4-0 Pompey. Murphy, in this example, has shown a blend of so many rare attributes in a championship midfielder. Instinctive intelligence, crucial hard work, and the final ball to go with it. To combine all of those things on so many occasions at any point in the game is absolutely wild. And the reason why not many people have got the answer to him right now. Let's show you a final example of Murphy's deadly creation this season, this time against some pretty top opposition, Sheffield United. For the first time in all three of these examples, Murphy has got to beat the fullback and then deliver the cross. This shows us two things. The first, his 1v1 directness, and then his composure to cross under pressure. He's going to have a player, a fullback in this instance, chasing him and trying to win the ball back after he's been beaten. He beats his man well. He averages 1.5 successful take-ons per 90, which is exceptional. He briefly looks up into the area and identifies exactly where he wants his cross to land. He also makes the crucial decision to cross early. So many wingers beat their men, slow down, and try and beat them again. Not Murphy. He takes full advantage of his successful take on and whips the ball in hard and low. With Ogilvie making an underlapping run into the box, him or Kobe Bishop would be in a brilliant position to attack the space and convert, which the fullback does really, really well. If you want even further evidence of Murphy's chance creation from the left flank, this is a diagram made by the people at Opta. You can see just how many opportunities on goal are fired in from that position of circles. There's a fielder or 9 of his assists so far in the championship. Finally, let's talk about his finishing, because as I mentioned earlier, he might have the attributes of an old school winger, but Murphy is also a real threat on goal too. So far this season, he's outscoring his XG by 2.92 and ranks in the top 4% for shots on goal compared to other championship wingers and attacking midfielders with 70 shots. He's not scared to have a go himself. His shot map highlights his favourite shooting zones. Well, it was only until Saturday where he finally converted from that position just outside of the box. This is the goal, and before we talk about the brilliant finish, I think it's important we discuss just how quickly Murphy knows what he wants to do. His close touch control is exquisite, once again, so aggressive, but confidently aggressive 1v1 with just a single thing on his mind. He sits down, takes one touch inside and looks for the far bottom corner. What I also find quite funny is Hayden here. You can see his arm. He's asking for the pass, knowing full well that Murphy has no intention but to shoot from this position because he is confident, he is running hot, and he knows he can make a real impact because he's got the ability to shoot from that position and score. He's tried it numerous times, but for the first time this season, from that zone, he did convert, and what a finish it was indeed. I could have chosen so many of his goal involvements today, but I think I've painted the picture. I'll leave you with a stat, and a stat that I think captures just how much of an impact he's having at Portsmouth. Not a single championship player has been involved in a higher percentage of his team's goals this season with 35% than Josh Murphy. That is phenomenal, and he is phenomenal too. Is he the most underrated championship player? Let me know in the comments down below. Pompey fans, I imagine there'll be some Oxford fans too. The guy's a joke. The guy's continued where he left off for Oxford United in League One, and he's flying in the division above.